Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen,
Hi, I'm Mike Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man.
and you're watching AFK, the AFK show, our favorite show on the planet.
One of.
One of. So you're watching the right show. Keep watching, and keep watching.
And keep watching. And keep watching. Don't stop.
I think. It doesn't work? Oh, there we go. How's everybody doing? Yeah, buddy. Can we get a baby Landon? That's the Nard.
What up?
He's the original Walking Dead. Look at him, right? You guys seen the photo circulating? Looks just like it, right? Well, we're proud to present, this is probably the biggest panel. I mean, this place is just getting packed. And so we're very proud to present our Dead panel, our Walking panel. And we've got Kyla Kennedy, Brighton Charbonneau, IronE Singleton, Scott Wilson. Can we get a big welcome?
Whoa! Let's check the energy level here. I did this at my table. Let's see where your energy level is.
I couldn't hear that at all. Come on, guys. One more time. Let's go. That was better.
Beautiful, beautiful, magnifique. What's up, San Antonio?
So many beautiful people
I
out
know,
in the
right?
crowd.
My goodness, look at this crowd. Thank you for such a warm reception. I'm loving it here in San Antonio.
This is awesome.
Thank you so much.
I just realized like
Appreciate
everyone
it.
here is dead. I just realized that everyone here is dead.
I forgot how hot Texas was. I'm from Texas, so this is great.
The water here is good. So.
I guess you could say we are the Walking Dead.
Yeah, yeah. Indeed.
We're gonna have some audience participation. You guys are gonna have a chance to, ask questions and talk to our walking panel. So those are the microphones. Just make sure you're polite when you're coming up there and just wait until they get a chance to talk to you. So if you do have a question, maybe start a little line and then you can, address our panel and talk to them. So if anybody does have a question, I'm sure they'd love to talk to you and get to know you and stuff. But just be, don't run down there or anything. Go slow. No pushing, no shoving, no weirdness. So, Nard here is a huge he is a huge Walking Dead fan. Huge. So I think I should allow him to ask the first question. Go ahead.
Herschel, this one's for you. Now, what was your first reaction when you found out that the situation, what was going to happen to you with the governor?
My first reaction.
Yeah, like when
Yeah. Well, I think think probably I was suspicious before I knew.
Yeah.
I think in episode 403, where I had this speech about stepping outside and you risk your life, you take a drink of water, you risk your life. And on that monologue, I said, I'm not long for this world. And then in episode 405, I felt pretty sure that was it wouldn't be long because I had way too much to do. And when I read it, it didn't surprise me,
Yeah.
you know, but
Because you guys are like a family. Was there like tears and stuff like during that episode? After you guys recorded it?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was there like tears? Like, because I know you guys are like a family now. And was it real emotional when it came down to that?
Yeah, well, you know that everyone on the show knows, though they may not be willing to deal with it, that sooner or later they're going to go. And it's like IronE followed me. He preceded me, and I always said, why would they take him out? That didn't make sense to me. But I can say that really about most of the deaths on the show. It doesn't make sense, even though you know it's coming, and even though you know that that's what the fans kind of expect in a way. So it was fun while it lasted. I loved working with these people on the stage with us, and the people that are still alive and people that are no longer there. I think that all of we walked on the shoulders of those that preceded us, and now they're walking on our shoulders, maybe jumping up and down on our heads a little bit. but it's fun. It's been fun.
We'll start over here for questions. You want to go over there, ladies first? Go ahead.
Hi. First of all, I just want to say I love you all very much.
Oh,
Thank you.
And is there a story behind Lizzie looking at the flowers?
Oh, you're over there. Okay, I'm like, where are you?
We never really talked about that.
You know, we never really knew what happened to her mom. I think that maybe it was like flowers go to her mom's funeral. It could have been something revolving that.
This is really bad, I'm sorry. I kind of thought that maybe Lizzie had a couple problems before zombies walked the earth, and maybe that was her method before, and then when, people started eating people, she kind of snapped. But, the occasional therapy sessions, I think, before all of the stuff in the world happened, I think that was her coping method all this time.
And a lot of it could be, just not wanting to think that all these people are dead, because just being surrounded by dead people 24/7, you don't want to think that they're actually dead. And I think maybe her mom might have died and didn't want to think that her mom would just still, turn into like a eating thing that walks. So I don't know. That's a good question.
I know.
I didn't think of that. All right, thank you.
Go ahead.
I have two questions. You guys are the best. The first question is, what is it like being on the show? How do you guys connect with each other? And the second one is, which one of you would die first, and which one of you would survive the longest if a zombie apocalypse were to happen?
Out of all of us?
I'm probably out first because...
I mean, if I had a weapon, I think I'd survive for a while. I'd build a tree house. I've gotten it. I know.
I would still die. It doesn't matter.
Well, I say this everywhere I go. I say that working on the set of The Walking Dead was the best experience of my career. And every day was like a holiday. Going to work every day and meeting and greeting my colleagues, getting the handshakes, the hugs, the kisses. It was pure joy. It was pure bliss. I never had one bad day on the set. So I looked forward to it. It was incredible. I don't know how long I would last. I guess I would last as long as probably T-Dog did until season 3.
Go ahead.
I think that how long I would live would depend on the weapon I had.
I would still die.
I'm still getting over the last time they killed me. I don't want to deal with the next one.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
You're
sir.
welcome.
Out of all the episodes, which one was your favorite to shoot?
Probably episode 414. I mean, not to just say that because we were the only people in that episode rather than Melissa McBride and Mr. Chad. But I thought it was really wonderfully written, as are all of Mr. Gimple's scripts. But I really felt like that was an emotionally drawing script, that episode, and probably don't want to just call you out, but most of the room cried when they saw it, and I thought it was just impeccable the way he wrote it and put everything together.
What was that one episode that you were in most of it, but the one where the walker came at me and I had to fall back?
Yeah.
That one was really your episode, but I was just happy to be a part of it, and that was fun to shoot.
Thank you. I was going to ask you, did you ever read Tom Sawyer?
I'm reading it. Actually, I have to for school.
He tells her to read Tom Sawyer during that episode. But I love that too. You know, it isn't necessarily, I like what you said, because it isn't necessarily what you have to do in an episode that makes you like it. It's what the other actors are doing and what you see them doing. It makes you feel good to be on the set with them when they're doing something really nice. And that's the way it was really from the first episode on for me. I loved watching the other actors work. I saw them work before I got there. I saw the first 6 shows of the series. And I said, yeah, I want to be involved with those people because they're good and they're having fun and they're really wonderful to watch. Cool.
Thank you. I feel the same way that Scott feels, and I'll tell you this from day one, first episode, I didn't know that we were working on something that would turn out to be so great and such a mega hit. And then when the show aired to maybe about 6 million plus viewers, like, wow, we have something here. And from that point on, I just kind of appreciated everything that we did. But I knew that we had arrived when Frank Darabont, the showrunner from the start, he was in an uproar talking about Mr. Scott Wilson, who was coming to the show. And I think he gave everybody like a copy of Mr. Wilson's prior work, and he was so ecstatic about it. And I knew from that time, we were like, wow, this is a big thing. We're on to something great here. So, but every day was a pure joy to go to the set and work on the show. Every day. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I'm sure I speak for a lot of people when I say, really, we do miss you, T-Dog. It was sad to see you go. Herschel, what a surprise to see you go the way you did, especially. I'm sorry that somebody didn't take a pot shot from up by the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have. Somebody should have shot at somebody. But do you guys, I guess there's a couple of questions in here, but it's pretty simple in terms of production value. Do you get the whole season at the beginning and say, here are your episodes, read this is where you're at, or do you get it episode by episode when you're filming the series? Because I know that y'all film at certain times of the year. Are y'all given the full script or episode by episode?
Well, the first season, it was kind of rush. And that I would have to refer to that as not just a pilot episode, but like the pilot season. And we got the scripts on maybe sometimes the day of. We got a lot of the scripts and maybe a day before. But then as we progressed, as the show progressed, season 2, we got our scripts maybe weeks, if not a month or 2 prior to. So it got better and better because, we knew we would have another season to go into. But at the very beginning, it was just a rush job. So, yeah.
You guys are phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, sir.
This is for Mr. Wilson. You're one of my favorite characters in The Walking Dead, and I see you're walking pretty good. How long did it take for you to regrow your leg back?
You know, I'm part lizard, so it was a little faster than you might think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm just a really big fan of all of you, and I was utterly devastated when Scott Wilson died. Like, you don't know how many times I cried. But I wanted to know for the two younger girls, I mean, what were your feelings when you first got the script that had the both of you guys dying? Like, what was your initial reaction when you read it?
Well, I mean, because they gave us the script like 2 weeks before we started filming. And so what happens is I don't know if this happened to you guys, but like most of the time, every time before you're about to be let go, Scott Gimple calls you. So he's not someone you want to give your number to, just saying. But, and so when I got it, I kind of guessed. And then he kind of put the facts straight and told me. And at first I was kind of like, oh crap. And I didn't really process it. And then when I was in bed thinking, I was like, oh no, I really am gonna die. So I got up and I read the script. And of course I was crying. But you know, when I read it, as I said before, I thought it was so amazingly written. And I understood why he did it. Like it was something that needed to be done. And I mean, I think it was really great for the show. I mean, it also pulled a lot of people in. You know, you're flipping your channel from Disney and then you see someone murdering their sister. I mean, which one do you think you're gonna watch? Just saying.
Scott Gimble actually called my mom, and then my mom called me, and she's like, I have good news and bad news. I'm like, okay, tell me the bad news. And she's like, no. So she told me the good news, and then she told me the bad news, which was we were gonna get, you know, a lot of the episode to be about, you know, Kyla, me, and Chad and Melissa. And then I was with my grandma actually, so I was just crying, how do I die? How do I die? Just trying to get to the part to see how I died. And then it was a lot, I was just like, it was a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah, it was really sad.
I was less sad for Lizzie as I was that I wasn't going to be able to, like, see them that much more often.
Yeah, the hardest part is, like, knowing that you're never going to get to, like, go to a 7 a.m. call time again and see, like, Norman wearing a mask with his shirt off and, like, Andrew sitting and, like, you know, everyone, you just miss everyone so much because they're a part of your family. Like, it doesn't matter if you do 2 episodes, 1 episode. They're just such wonderful people that you automatically just connect with them.
And we weren't even on the show for that long, but, like, the impact that it has on our acting careers has been
These guys were, like,
they were on the show for a long time. So.
Thank you, girls. You guys are like wise beyond your years. Just so you know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First off, I want to say that y'all are all awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Huge fan of the show, as you could probably tell since I'm wearing both a jacket of Walking Dead and a shirt. And my question is for Mr. Wilson. In episode 416, we see you in a flashback talking to Rick. When you were killed off, when you filmed that scene, did you know you would be back to film a flashback?
No, I didn't. No. But I'm kind of old school, so I didn't cut my beard or ponytail. Until, in the old days, you would keep your look until they told you that the footage had come back and everything was covered. They wouldn't have to do any retakes. So they are saying now that they told me to keep it. They didn't. I did it because I'm old school. And then a friend of mine called me and asked me to appear in his pilot, Bosch. It'll be on Amazon. Michael Connelly called me and asked me if I would appear in the pilot, and I said, I have a ponytail and a beard. He said, that's okay. So I did that. Then they called me and said they were going to have me in a flashback episode. So now I'm stuck with, I'm stuck with the ponytail and the beard for Michael Conley's show for Bosch. Did you track that? Right.
I understood it, so.
Cool.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my question's for all of y'all. I understand you get your script, 2 weeks in advance, a month in advance. How do you, when you go to present for a camera, how did you get into your mood, per se, to be that character? T-Dog was, big, husky, always, and Scott being the father figure. How did you get into the character?
Well, the big and husky came naturally. But the other stuff, as far as my training, I've been acting for 20 years. And once you've done it for so long, you just become. And it's a lot easier later on. Once you have a character that you're developing, it's a lot easier later, when you have to play that character than it is early on. When I was first cast as T-Dog, I was still doing homework on that character. What's he like? What type of toothpaste does he use? Is he fast? What's his 40-yard dash? Like all the specifics like that. And then you pretty much answered most of those questions during season 1. I did. Then season 2, you come back, you're a little more comfortable with that character. So you've had time to live with the character, and you just kind of become that person once you get to the set.
Well, I think one of the amazing things about acting and being an actor or actress is that you can turn it on, and I don't want to say on and off, but that's the term I'm going to use. But, you go on set, you get your script, and of course it's different, like if you're doing a scene where you, let's say, murder your sister, or you do a scene where you're playing like with, some of the group of kids, those are two completely different things. But I think it's amazing, and what I like about acting is like, so you're doing a scene where you need to be upset, thinking of past things that have happened to you, or just kind of thinking like, well, how does, let's say, Mika feel about this, and why does Mika have such a strong connection with this, and just kind of filling out, like, kind of like what you said, like, kind of figuring out your character more and more, and that's kind of how I got prepared.
For me, I couldn't really bring the common sense to my character, so I just tried to bring the emotions she was feeling in the scene. So.
It's very fun what we do, and you're privileged to be able to do what we do. I know actors who've worked a long time and haven't been as fortunate as we have been to work on this show. And it is a collaborative medium. You don't do it isolated. You're not in a isolation tank. So what I see these actors doing helps inspire me while I'm working. And I think that's the best of all worlds is that you are inspired by the people that you're working with. And you create something different than maybe you thought you were going to do. So it's a good question, and it's really not as for me easy to answer that as I might have thought it would be, but it's a collaborative medium.
Okay. Thank you.
Great answer, Mr.
You're welcome.
Scott.
First off, I love the show and I love your characters, even though they're gone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But Offset, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you?
Offset, did you say?
You mean other than having my head cut off and my leg cut off?
Did you say onset or offset? I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
Like on set, but when we're not filming.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, what?
Let's see here. There are so many. Okay, so I've got one that's really short and one that's short too, but I'm just gonna put them together. So one, Greg Nicotero would always scare me, and I almost punched him in the face. Two, okay, so in the charred walker scene, those walkers were pretty scary. I didn't really get scared of the walkers because, Greg would show us them, and we would get to meet them, and they were really nice. But okay, so there were these group of charred walkers that had to chase us, and so there was this one walker, and he was like a method actor, I guess you could say. And so we're on the tracks, and then this one walker, and he's just like, and he likes coming after me, and we're off camera, and I'm like running from him. Well, it turns out he's the walker that had to grab my foot when I fell in the fence. If any of you haven't seen the episode, I'm sorry. And so I was like freaking out, and I was like, Bryden and I were like running, and I was telling Bryden before we were filming, I was like, now Bryden, there's this one walker dude, and he's really crazy, so stay away from him because I think he's gonna bite you. And so, but after we filmed the scene, I got to meet him, and he was very nice, and he was just trying to pull a trick on me, so it was okay.
I bet like he's heard you say this before, and he's like, like upset. But he's, okay. I'd have to say like, a lot of all the zombies, they're not usually in the zombie costume, so they totally forget. And it's funny to like, I wanted to get a picture with all the zombies being all scary, and they all went like this. Like, and I thought that was pretty funny. I don't remember any right now.
What about you? You seem like you would have a lot of funny stories. I don't know why. I'm just getting that vibe.
I don't know how funny it would be considered, but I do know that during who remembers the Whale Walker scene?
Yeah, I do.
Man, oh my God. That was one of the toughest scenes I had to shoot while on the show. Now, Billy, our director, he directed this particular episode. It was really dirty, muggy, dusty. It was hot. It was about 100 degrees out. And every time I shot that scene, we kicked up a lot of dirt. And the dust got down to my throat. And the Whale Walker was the ugliest, the nastiest walker ever created in the history of zombiedom. So I gagged every time I looked at the walker. I could barely get through the scene. Every time I looked at that walker, and I'm trying to shoot the scene while I'm gagging, right? It was so tough, and then the dust was getting in my throat to mix with it, made me gag even more. So the director came up to me after about 6 or 7 takes, and he was like, IronE, I like what you're doing with the gag. That's pretty cool. But let's try it this time without the gag. I'm like, I can't help it. What are you talking? The walker's ugly, dust is in my throat. So I thought that was pretty funny. And they ragged me about that all day. The rest of the cast, they were laughing at me, but that was an ugly walker. Now tell the truth. So yeah, that's just one.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. And another thing that happened though was earlier that morning, Rita's, AKA Darryl Dixon. How did I know I was going to get that reaction? AKA Darryl Dixon.
Norman Reedus. That is like really cool.
Right. So that morning I had eaten some sausage links. These were the ugliest sausage links. Which added to the gross out moment when I shot the scene with the Whale Walkers.
Is everything ugly to you?
Just the sausage links and the Whale Walker. That's it. So they were nasty and shrivelly looking. Rita's got on the van that morning. He looked at me eating the sausage links. He was like, "Ooh, what's that, poop?" Thank you, Rita's, for ruining my appetite. So that contributed to that moment. But how I got Rita's back, we were shooting season 3, episode 1, I think, when we were in the house when Carl he was about to eat the dog poo. I don't know if the set decorators did much work on the set because that place was disgusting and nasty looking.
Isn't that how it's supposed to look?
What's that? What'd you say?
Isn't that how it's supposed to look, like in an apocalypse?
But I don't think the set decorators did it. I think it was already like that.
What was he supposed to be eating?
Yeah, I think we just went to the set because the place was raggedy. They didn't have to do anything to it. Now, in the corner, near the fireplace, there was some poop near the fireplace. Readers and Lincoln did not know it. For readers, do you think I told him? Because he ruined my appetite that time, so I just let him back up in the poop. And they kept saying, I smell something. Oh my God, what is that smell? Everybody else knew it. Everybody else knew it, but we didn't say anything about it. So that's karma for you.
That was funny.
Your turn.
Oh, I covered it. I covered it
Oh,
with
you
my
did
leg
already.
and my
Okay.
head.
Tell me
Yeah.
the one where you fell asleep in the bed.
It was fine. But it wasn't really a comedy. I'm trying to think of. There was a lot of enjoyment, but laughs. Did we laugh that much? I think we just laugh more right now than we did the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Who set me up? Billy, did you set me up with the mic?
Okay. Shoot.
Wasn't me.
I was just reminded, okay. When they took my leg off,
This is
and
a
I
really
was in
funny
the cell, they had cut a hole in the bottom of the bunk so I could put my leg down the hole so it looked like I didn't have my leg from the knee down. So they were shooting, and rather than me getting out of the bunk after every take or every time they moved the camera or something, I decided to stay there so it would move faster to shoot the scenes. So I'm there in the middle of a scene, and all of a sudden I started snoring.
Oh, I love that story.
And that was kind of, I woke up with everyone laughing at me, so. So I stand corrected, you're right. There was a lot of humor there. I was the reason for it.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, first off, I have to say, love The Walking Dead, love the Billy Madison show, and it's been a while, sadly, since I've seen The Walking Dead. I haven't exactly been keeping up with it as much as I should have. I'm sorry, I started college.
No. Give her a break, everybody. Give her a break.
Come on, people.
Oh, man.
No.
Anyway.
It's out of love, sweetie. It's out of love.
We ain't hating, we just playing.
Anyway, so that scene where Lori had that improv C-section, without all the medical supplies, unfortunately, was she actually eaten by that walker? Because if I remember the scene correctly, where Lori was laying, there were bloody drag marks outside the door. So I'm not sure if she dragged herself out or if the walker truly ate her. So it was sometime in season 3.
As I recall, and I may be wrong, but as I recall, Carl made sure that she wasn't going to be a zombie.
Yeah, he shot her in the head.
So he
And
That's getting to the point.
Don't walkers only like alive meat, or do they like dead meat too?
Yeah, because they only eat anything that's moving.
That's why he
ate her.
Shot her.
He shot her.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he was just a really fat walker.
As I recall.
Okay. Thank you.
I like
All
your
right,
hat.
final question, just so you guys know, final question. Hey, don't yell at me.
So glad y'all can make it down. Thank y'all. We witnessed a lot of characters' deaths, and when I witnessed Scott, I had to turn the TV off and pause just to comprehend what happened. But how's the atmosphere like knowing it's your last day on set, it's your last take? What are the emotions running through y'all's head?
Well, speaking for me, when other people on the show preceded me, I wanted to be there when it happened. If it was at all possible. When these two lovely ladies, actresses, left, I was out of state, so it was impossible to be there. But I was there when IronE got it, and I was there when most of the people got it. And it's something that I think was started by the actors that were there the first season. If one of them went, they would be there for each other. And when I went, that was certainly the case. There were a lot of people there. And it was quite touching. It was moving to see how much the crew and the cast and everyone was going to miss you and how much they appreciated what you had done. So that was, I think from now on it'll hit a warm spot in my heart thinking of the other actors that and how they went and how it's funny because it is acting, but you still get involved and you still care about what happened to the characters.
I actually have a funny story about this. Somebody actually asked me about, is it funny when like you're about to die or something? And I'm like, there was actually when I was supposed to have killed Mika, there was this, like, the stunt double did it because, that's what they had gotten the stunt double for. And she was like, it's my time to shine on the floor bloody. And I thought that was funny. I'm sorry, that wasn't really related. I just kind of funny.
Everyone is so amazing on that set and so considerate, and they try not to make it a pity party, but yet everyone is so devastated, and you can tell, and everyone's so respectful, and but you can visit the set anytime. Like, that's the type of people they are, and I'm pretty sure we all got that same vibe. Like, you can just pop in on set anytime, and there's no hassle and no trouble, and everyone's just so amazingly wonderful. And Yeah,
they were respectful. And they didn't laugh.
Very good, very good. I literally, the last week on the set, I literally felt like The Walking Dead because, again, it harkens back to that idea of family, that family atmosphere that was created on the set. And we were so close to each other. So whenever there's a death, people quite naturally get sad and emotional. And whenever I walk past somebody, my death week, people would just kind of give me the sad eyes as I walk by them. They just... It was the worst feeling. It was the worst feeling. But at the same time, as a consolation, it made me feel good to know that I developed friendships that would last for a lifetime. And it kind of triggered something in me. As I went home, I wanted to leave everyone with a parting gift. And I tried to think of an expression. I gave everybody in the cast and the crew a plaque, which says something like this. I may paraphrase a bit, but it says, when destiny beckons, and my wife actually helped me to come up with it. She pretty much came up with it. I was just tossing ideas around. But it goes like, when destiny beckons and the end is near, there's always a voice within whispering words of comfort and confirmation that death is only the beginning, and that because this is God's plans. Which goes back to T-Dog's, one of T-Dog's very last lines, if not his last line, when he was in the cell block trying to save Carol. And that's basically it, because death is just a new beginning. We're moving on to something bigger and better. We're gonna leave this shell that we're in called the flesh, and our spirit will live on forever in ubiquity. So we'll be everywhere. So I tried to look at it like that, like it's not as sad as we want to take it. There's also a positive side to look at it. And again, it was the greatest experience of my career, so there are more positives than negatives about the whole thing.
Thank you, guys. Kyla Kennedy, Brighton Charbonneau, IronE Singleton, Scott Wilson, give it up. God, stand up.
Thank you, you guys.
Thank you.
I love love you. Thank you. We love you back. We love you back. Oh, I love you.